Christina Hageny, and I own a payroll firm based in Oklahoma called Valor Payroll Solutions. I have been doing payroll for over a decade now, about 11 years. I have been a certified payroll professional, or CPP, for the last 5+. I just renewed my certification. And I'm also a PHR, professional in human resources, and a SHRM CP, SHRM certified professional. I started in payroll kind of not on purpose. My first job out of college, I was an admin assistant to the corporate HR director for a hotel management company. So kind of started slow, working on things that go into payroll, like benefit deductions and reconciliations, and just kind of kept grabbing onto little pieces. My boss didn't really like to do payroll. And for me, it kind of came naturally. I've always been really good with numbers. And so I just kind of started picking it up. We had multiple FEINs, it was multi-state. So it was a really nice introduction to payroll. Plus, the company was based in California, and there are some of the strictest guidelines there about overtime and final checks, paid leave. So I started kind of at the hardest and continued to learn throughout my experience. I spent about 3 years there, and then I ended up moving to Oklahoma, where I started working with a PEO. And so I kind of felt like I had most of the basics down, but then working with a PEO, you realize there's just this whole other realm of payroll that I had no idea existed. So on top of all the laws that go along into payroll with a PEO, there's an additional layer of laws about, who's responsible for certain things and what tax ID things get reported under. So it's even more complex than payroll already is. But I loved it. I love the challenge. I love learning. I did that. Next I went to a company that was like a staffing company for oil and gas. And that was really eye-opening for me because it was a larger company, but they were doing things not manually, but semi-manually. So they had about 1,500 inspectors out in the field, and they would send in their timesheets for weekly payroll. Some would email them, some would fax them. I feel like some might have even come by pigeon. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. But they just kind of came from all over, and then we crunch all the data, and pay rates were kind of on paper as well. And we put everything to Excel, and do some macros and export it and put it into a system, and then calculate the gross to net and, get the taxes paid. So that was kind of crazy. And it really kind of opened my eyes to, the different levels that people are using new technology in the workplace for payroll. And then I've spent, the last 5-ish years as a service provider working with clients in nearly every state in the United States. And so that is just amazing to me. Throughout my payroll journey, I've, had some crazy things happen. I've been part of wage and hour lawsuits. I've been through ACA compliance, huge, the Cadillac penalties, you name it. I mean, it's happened. And working with so many people too, you get a lot of personal things that kind of come up either by employees or by clients. So there's never really a dull moment in payroll, which is a little counterintuitive to what you think it might be. But for me, I never knew payroll was a profession out there. Of course, people know there's HR and there's accounting, but payroll kind of hangs out in the middle there, and a lot of times kind of gets thrown into one or the other in a company, depending on how large they are. But really, it's its own thing, and it really requires some intense learning and really keeping up on changing compliances in order to be successful and to be a true payroll expert. You also have to be a really good problem solver, because there are things that come up that you really can't anticipate, whether that's an error from human miskeying, system errors happen, unfortunately. Tax agencies have errors as well. So anytime something comes up, you got to kind of go through this chain of what should have happened, what did happen, who's right, who's wrong, and how do we fix it. But that's why I love it. I love having so many different facets in my job. There's numbers, there's people, problem solving, like I said. And I really enjoy the fact that I never know what any day might bring. So for anyone who's interested in payroll, I would suggest talking to some payroll people. I think would be the best idea to kind of get a feel for what the job is and if it might be a fit for you. But even within payroll, there's payroll taxes, there's system implementations, there's data entry. So even within payroll itself, there's so many different avenues that someone could explore for a career field. So, that's my message to budding payroll professionals is, explore, test out the waters, see where you fit in, and take it all away. It could be your journey through the rest of your life.